here at home, but we also recognize that as we continue to speak to partners around the world about the importance of meeting their ambitious climate goals and commitments, that we need to be in a position to demonstrate that we're making progress here at home. So across the climate issue, across a number of issues, this will be important for us, but for any implications for South Korea, I would need to refer you to colleagues.
That it? Well, yeah, this is basically it. The tax gap lies in these categories. And what I'm saying again is the Joint Tax Committee has identified in which income cohorts there are expected payments of taxes that are less than those due. And if you've got 87,000 auditors coming on board, by the way, that is 6 times the annual budget of the IRS. 87,000 auditors coming on board, only 4 to 9% of that tax gap is in those making more than $500,000. They must have to go in their audits.
Folks, another bill was just signed into law by President Biden. Many Americans will finally begin to see relief from the rising gas prices and inflation. Economists predict that prices of everyday necessities will be back to normal in just a few weeks. And with the Inflation Reduction Act signed into law, it includes several green energy provisions opposed by the fossil fuel industry. The bill also orders the Department of the Interior to take a series of steps to boost fossil fuel production on federal lands and waters. The Inflation Reduction Act also requires the Biden administration to hold 3 offshore lease sales that had canceled in May and ties to renewable clean energy. And the Inflation Reduction Act requires the Biden administration to hold 3 offshore lease sales that had canceled in May and ties new renewable energy leasing to mandated onshore oil and gas leasing. Sales at gas stations also dropped 1.8% last month, largely because of falling prices. The nationwide cost of gas fell by almost 11% to an average of $4.44 a gallon. Prices continued to decline in August toward $4 a gallon, and another break for U.S. households, giving them a bit more money to spend on other goods and services. It's good for consumers and the economy when they have to spend less on fuel. U.S. gas prices continue to fall, and they could have kept falling, raising the possibility of gas below $3 a gallon in much of the country before the end of the year. The average price is somewhat inflated by some high-price states, like California, where the average is $5.37 a gallon. The national median price, which is the price at which half the nation's gas stations are selling for more, is around $3.80 a gallon. Pretty much every state is enjoying the relief from higher prices, even in states with high gas prices like California. The average price is down more than $1 a gallon since the peak in June. And according to experts, as students start to return to school and the summer driving season comes to an end, the price of gas is likely to decline even further. Folks, what are your thoughts on President Biden and the fourth stimulus check? Is President Biden going to do all that it takes to help out the American people with this, or do you believe that he's holding it back? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Personally, everybody, I believe that President Biden can definitely do more for the American people and send out stimulus checks sooner than later. It needs to be done. More relief cash is coming. The deadline is quickly approaching for millions of Americans to take action and claim a new direct payment. In this video, I will be sharing with you the exact dates and details of this new round of stimulus checks. Now, some homeowners could also get financial help this month, and this could come from the Homeowner Assistance Fund. The American Rescue Plan set aside almost $10 billion for homeowner relief, and more than 40 states have now set up homeowner assistance programs to facilitate the distribution of funds. The funds will be distributed to the states by the Treasury Department, and money from this program could be used to help with mortgage payments, homeowner insurance costs, and other specified purposes. Between these state programs and homeowner assistance funds, millions could soon be entitled to money from the government to help them cope with the ongoing financial consequences of the crisis. Denver is anticipating its second half of stimulus funding to come in July, and according to city officials, Denver will receive $300 million in relief funds through the American Rescue Plan. The governor, along with leadership from the House and Senate, announced that people in Colorado will receive a $400 stimulus check this year as well. The stimulus is available to full-time Colorado residents who have filed their 2021 tax returns by May 31st. Approximately 3.1 million people in Colorado are eligible for the debate. The legislation is also designed to help Coloradans combat the rising cost of everyday necessities. It will provide $400 for a single filer and $800 to a joint filer. The state's strong economic rebound, which includes more than 100% of recovery rate of jobs and a 3.7% unemployment rate, has led to a record state surplus. And now Janet Yellen recently stated that the recession that many Americans fear that is coming is not at all imminent. Talks of a recession has accelerated this year as inflation remains high and the Federal Reserve takes aggressive steps to counter it. This week, the Fed announced a 75 basis points interest rate hike, its largest since 1994. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell indicated that the Federal Open Market Committee's intent to continue its aggressive path of monetary policy tightening in order to rein in inflation. At the same time, many expect the combination of resilience in consumer spending and job growth to keep the U.S. out of a recession. And during an interview with ABC News, Yellen stated, "I expect the economy to slow. It's been growing at a very rapid rate as the economy, as the labor market have recovered, and we have reached full employment." Although Yellen seemed optimistic about avoiding recession, the global economy is still facing serious threats in the coming months with the soaring inflation and crisis. Still, she doesn't believe a drop-off in consumer spending would be the cause of inflation. Yellen told ABC News that the U.S. labor market is the strongest of the post-war period and predicted that inflation would slow in the months ahead. During a Sunday appearance on NBC, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers himself had predicted a recession was likely, and several high key-powered CEOs have also begun bracing for a recession. He told NBC, "My best guess is that a recession is ahead. Based on the fact that we haven't had a situation like the present with inflation above 4%.
Down 2, it's down 8. Down 8 is the lightest level month over month since June. We're down -9. Now, for new home sales for the month of July, expecting 575,000, a miss here, 511,000 seasonally adjusted annualized units. That's down almost 13%. And here's something to ponder. The very first read of this year was 831,000, just to show you the direction of new home sales with rising interest rates and a variety of other headwinds. And to go into those, let's head east towards Diana Olick. Diana?
Well, Rick, this is a huge miss, but I'm not going to say it was unexpected at all, especially given what we saw from the home builders, their sentiment down to the negative territory for the first time in several years. Also, we saw housing starts drop dramatically. So we know what the builders are thinking, and now we see it in the numbers. Prices are only up 8% year over year in July. That's compared to we were seeing 20% price jumps just a couple of months ago. We're also seeing the supply of new homes for sale soar, a 10.9-month supply in July. That is up from a 9.3-month supply the month before. Supply should generally be 4 to 6 months. That's considered a balanced market, so the builders clearly have way too much inventory on their hands. We also saw cancellation rates reported a couple of months ago started to jump. Since May, they have literally doubled, and that's according to John Burns Real Estate Consulting. So you see the builders are in the pinch. They're seeing demand drop dramatically. We're also seeing a big drop in the number of sales on the higher end of the market. We had been seeing those growing because there was simply more supply there, but now we're seeing some weakness there.